Good morning. This shit's wobbly AF. View, super nice. Let's go for a ride. I'm wearing no short. Why is Corey wearing no pads? At least I got my helmet on. I wanted it to be easy for you to see what's going on with my legs. I just want to demonstrate my riding style and the things that I think may be different than other people. I could be wrong. It's less so me pointing out other people's wrong and more so just pointing out me right. Me pointing out the things that I've been doing to find stability and confidence when riding. And it basically just has to do with trying to keep contact with your legs and the machine at all times. And not only just contact, but keeping a lot of pressure, squeezing that to basically dampen. You're using your legs as a dampener, so that way wobbles don't get as out of hand as they would if there were room for the device to travel and create wobbles. Like, the other thing to realize is that you are the person that the device doesn't wobble. You create the wobbles. So shifting, basically imagine the front of your feet. Now, if one's gonna push forward, that's gonna basically cause the back end to kick out this way. Conservation of momentum or whatever. Thanks, Elon. If thanks Obama is for all the shit wrong with the country, then you say thanks Elon for anything that's just wrong with physics. Elon for making physics work like this. So I think people don't realize that they're the ones causing the oscillations when they're like, oh, I'm gonna bend my legs, and therefore your legs are even less stable and they're not keeping contact on the machine. Versus if you squeeze really tight, you'll still get oscillations. I ain't saying you ain't getting oscillations, but the ones that do arrive, because you're putting so much, like I'm literally just squeezing everything, like my butt cheeks are really putting all in here. Good morning. Hi. The things you want to realize here is your job as the rider to do everything you could possibly think of to keep this device from not moving in its course and helping it maintain a stable position. Also, for accelerating and decelerating, I think most of the time I spend with my toes curled over the edge. I wonder if you can see this. Toes curled over the edge, basically tippy toes. I'm lifting my shoes are pretty loose, but I'm lifting my feet off. So I'm putting everything I got into basically doing a calf raise and squeezing this thing as if I'm trying to like choke it out in a wrestling match. That is, for me, the most stable way to accelerate and brake. Like, if you're doing that, I don't see you ever having a speed wobble. Good morning. So I'd say start with getting used to that. Keeping your toes forward, leaning back, like even over bump, very smooth. And then I was like, okay, how do you become stable while turning? And if you can keep that, it's just hard to keep that body position. Not impossible. In fact, you could probably do your entire ride standing up straight like a pencil, and I think that would be pretty stable, but it's not as comfortable. So I've been working on finding ways to keep the device pretty well. I'm still squeezing, but in turns where I can allow myself to lean over in either direction. And something I've noticed as well, air pressure in the tire. You pump this thing up to 35 PSI, it's gonna be a wobble monster. So yeah, I think you could spend your time riding and curving and doing everything you want in this position, but this gets harder to do at higher tire pressure. I'm sure there's some physical explanation for why it's easier to pull the device over when you have less tire pressure. Not exactly sure, but that's just something I've noticed. Anecdotally, is that the right word? But anyways, I can really pull over, really get the device to lean. And there's probably reasons that you might not want to lean. Of course, if you're scared of scraping, so getting used to that for sure. But I feel like it is very stable when you can get the device to lean some degree. Once you're leaning, I'm driving this front part of my leg really hard into this front corner at a diagonal to like lock my leg into that position. To even more lock my body position in, I'm pulling back in the opposite way with this leg hard. So it's like the forces here are parallel. My leg is going at a 45 degree that way with this leg. This leg is pulling back this way. and then I can push and lean slowly throughout the turn and straighten my body position out as I round the corner and like brake. So if I want to brake in the corner, I slide back and I'm pulling both legs in a V so that the sum of forces are pulling me back. But when I'm turning, there's a push this way and a push that way. I think that's why I like hill climbs better than going downhill. Man, you can get, like if you follow that format, I think you can stably accelerate through turns downhill. And it's crazy, like you need to trust it. There's so much speed available to you stably, but why is that? Might that be bad? Because if you're trying to slow down, you're gonna have to shift your weight during the turn, and I think that's where things happen. Anytime you're trying to shift your weight, that's what's gonna cause a speed wobble. So that movement in whichever leg has to pull back. So whichever is the outside leg. Let's do an uphill. Oh, another thing I wanted to try today. Try it for a few seconds. See what she looks like. One time I was climbing a mountain, the first flat iron in Boulder, Colorado, and I had a similar concoction set up to get a third person perspective, and then the whole stick fell off and like fell all the way down the mountain with the GoPro, and I'm glad I didn't kill anyone or knock anyone off. This feels like a lot of bounce. I'm not gonna do this right now. We got our little test clip. All right, let's go fast uphill. This is my favorite section to warm up on. Not that many people driving, pretty smooth road. Nice curves. I can't stress this enough. While I'm riding, I'm literally like, I'm putting everything I can into like squeezing my legs really hard. If you're not using your legs as if they're steel, legs of steel, like that's what's gonna be the problem. So you literally have to hold it as if you're holding if you're in like a bodybuilding competition, you're like, look at me, here's my pose. Squeeze everything you got. That's where you're gonna get the stability. So yes, riding an EUC is a hell of a workout. I love this corner too. I love getting real close to the grass or the weeds. Just keep reminding yourself you need to focus everything on keeping your legs tight. As soon as you get distracted, that's when you're probably gonna fall if you aren't thinking squeeze, 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 squeeze. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that little video. If you've seen my recent trash can videos and other contraptions, I want to assure you I will be doing lots of fun projects. I just have an immense log of videos that I want to get done. Getting the foundation of my channel, it's gonna be videos in a couple different directions, setting me up for somewhat of a vlogger, projector, engineering, Casey Neistat, Mark Rober, adventure Red Bull, crazy guy. That's kind of what I'm going for. I just wanted to share what I have found to be some ways to ride stably and feel confident in even some crazy situations. Before you buy the EUC, you just see people wiping out and you're like, I don't get it, what's that like? If it's the EUC cutting out, of course, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why I think I picked this one, hoping that it would be one of the most reliable ones in terms of cutouts. Another decision I made for the best and the most powerful, highest speed versus a lower one is the following. Factors of safety. Hello, I'd rather have something that's extremely capable and then be riding at a level well under that, so I'm not pushing the limit of the machine, and therefore there's a lower chance of these things happening, versus buying a lower tier model that's lighter, more maneuverable, but if you're gonna push it, there's a higher chance of things going wrong because it's not built for that. I chose the option of buying the Lamborghini and driving it like an old man instead of buying a Miata and driving it like Alex Choi, if that makes any sense. Good morning.